Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, June the 21st, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you two on this fine, lovely summer solstice evening?
Oh, I'm feeling very solstice-y.
Are you?
Yeah.
What day is it?
It's summer solstice. It's the first day of summer.
Oh, man, I forgot to get something. What do
I-
you get
do
on
I have
summer
to-
solstice?
Now I can wear white shoes now, right?
You can wear white shoes. Yeah, you can.
Is that when you balance an egg on its end or something?
Something like that. I had a little chips and solstice this afternoon for lunch. So it was pretty good. No, not bad. Not good.
Jimmy, edit that out, please.
Cut that out. All right.
I don't want to be associated with that joke.
On that joke note, I got a couple things as we did in the fun show a couple weeks ago. Got a couple of interesting things to share with you. There's this sign that was seen in a hotel area. I don't know that I want to go swim in pool. So,
Well, what do I get if I do?
That's right. Fair enough.
Probably dysentery, I would say. But,
And metaphorically, every day I'm swimming in shit.
There you go. That's true. That's true. Most of us, from time to time, do. It's interesting, though. Then there's this one. This was interesting, I thought. Take one tablet by mouth 3 times a day while awake.
Yeah.
Did they really need to put while awake in that? I mean,
well, for legal purposes, they did. Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, unless you had somebody do it for you, like place it in your mouth and make you swallow it while you're sleeping. How are you going to take it while you're sleeping? That's the trick. Right?
Remember the old
rectally is a lot easier.
I was going to say, remember the old depositories?
Depositories. There you go. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I think that if I have to take one of those, I want it to be while I'm asleep.
That's true. Fair
Depends
enough.
on who's administering it.
Speaking of depends, that is correct. Anyway, all right. Then there was this one I thought was funny. Pop Zero plant-based popcorn. I don't want to eat non-plant-based popcorn.
What they mean by that is there's no lard or butter in it.
Yeah, I get it. But plant-based popcorn,
Well, but is there any corn?
Not popcorn with plant-based, right?
Like, how do we know? Is it made of like kale or hemp or Brussels sprouts?
Kale doesn't pop.
That's true.
As much anyway.
No.
Crisp
kale
chips are very good. Actually,
recreate the kernels out of kale.
Yeah, would be way more expensive.
That's true. It would be.
Kale is not subsidized like corn.
This is true. So, then it was this one. I'm not sure that I would want to drink this scotch. So let me know your thoughts.
Red Labial.
Yes. Red Labial scotch.
If it didn't have the old.
Well, and it's red too. So I mean, it's not.
Well, you did realize that it's also called Johnny Worker.
Worker, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Red. I mean, if it was red labia, I would probably drink it.
If it just said red labial Scotch whiskey, I mean that's
yeah.
It's not old.
That's right. That's Sunday morning, really.
We know that we know that by your counterfeit label that it's not old.
That it's not old. Right, exactly.
So
Johnny
yeah,
Worker.
that's
I love it.
That's
the
result of a good night.
Also, whiskey spelled
Yeah, right.
WHISKY.
Right. Well, you can spell it that way. Yeah. Yeah. Scotch whiskey is usually spelled without the E. Regular American whiskey has the E in it.
All right. So let me ask you this: Is this a product of someone really stupid or someone who was determined to make sure that no one could think that this was real?
I think it's somebody.
Every chance they got here to misspell something or to draw attention to the fact that this was farcical, they did. Johnny Worker, the name.
I think this is somebody with Photoshop making
and olded, right? What is it?
Olded.
Something blended and olded.
Yeah. Filled, distilled, blended, and olded.
Yeah.
Olded, right. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
There you go. Olded. There we go.
I would give it a try.
Why not? Give it a taste. Give it a try. Whatever. Never mind. I was going to say something bad, but I'm not going to. Anyway, then there was this one, the pièce de résistance, if you will. I'm not sure what this will do for your car, but who knows? Try our new peppermint mocha oil change.
Well, it'll make your tailpipe smell better.
I suppose so.
And I have no idea what it'll do for your car.
I'm not sure either, but you never know. New peppermint mocha
if you were gonna kill yourself in the garage with the exhaust, then you might want to do this first.
Right.
By the way, peppermint mocha is only good for oil changes. I would never put that anywhere close to my mouth. Peppermint mocha, that just sounds fucking horrible.
Fair enough. Peppermint mocha oil change. Fair enough. Interesting though. So those are the five interesting graphics for the week, if you will. So there you go. You got to get some theme music to that. We got to work on the themes. Pete, we got to do a couple of.
Yeah. Well, the kid is home now, so
he's home now, so we can definitely get that going. All right, cool. Let's.
I'm having fun.
So we need a meme theme.
We need a meme. We need a meme theme. Yes, we need a meme theme.
It's the meme theme.
Meme
theme, Mister Pete.
There you go. All right, let's kick it off. Let's do this week's Just a Quickie. MLB Just a Quickie.
Let's make it quick.
All right, I want to make this a little different than we normally do the Just a Quickies. It's still going to be the same format, but it's got a little different twist to it.
Is it going to be quicker?
It could be. It depends on your answer. Pick one in their prime. Harry, we're going to start with you. Pick one in their prime. You can only have one of them. Pick one in their prime.
Farrah Fawcett.
Nolan Ryan or Randy Johnson?
Randy Johnson.
It's certainly quick. All right. And RadioPete?
Randy Johnson. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Fair enough. I guess we'll make it unanimous. I thought that would be a little bit more of a thought provoker, but
we're talking about pitching, right?
We're talking about quickies.
Bar fight. I'm going with Nolan.
Fly pitching. I didn't mention that.
Next.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if it's a bar fight, I'm going with Nolan Ryan.
Bar fight. Okay. Pitching, Randy Johnson. Bar fight, Nolan Ryan. Gotcha. Okay, fine. All right. So let's do tonight's quiz. Tonight's not rapid fire quiz, regular quiz. Here we go. Tonight's is the top MLB closers. 2 weeks ago, we did the top Yankees and/or Mets closers of all time. This week's it's top MLB closers of all time.
Here's 23. You got to keep 12.
Right, exactly. I'm giving you 6. You got to keep 4. 2 got to go. Here you go. You know the drill. Here we go. Write these down. Here we go.
All right.
Trevor Hoffman.
All right. Hoffy, number 1. What's number 2?
Trevor Hoffman. Lee Smith.
Yep.
Kenley Jansen.
Ooh, there you go. That's a good one. A more current one.
Mm-hmm. Got another current one for you. Craig Kimbrell.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Dennis Eckersley.
The Ecker man.
Mm-hmm. And we'll run it out with Troy Percival.
Nice.
So Trevor Hoffman, Lee Smith, Kenley Jansen, Craig Kimbrell, Dennis Eckersley, and Troy Percival. Pete, kick us off.
Who's Kimbrell pitched for?
Right now he's on the Cubs, right? Oh no, he's on the. Oh no, is he on the Cubs or he's on the Phillies? He's on the Phillies, I think, actually.
All right. Who did he used to pitch for?
He used to, but if he's on the Phillies, he used to pitch for the Cubs, but he was in Boston for a while, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Eckersley. Screw him.
He is. Yeah, he's on the Phillies. He pitched for the Cubs. He pitched for the Padres, the Red Sox, the Braves, the Cubs, the White Sox, and the Dodgers.
All right. Yeah, I thought he pitched for the Braves. I was going to get rid of him, but no. We'll get rid of Eckersley.
Get rid of Eckersley.
Yeah, screw him.
Okay.
And
who was the fifth one?
The fifth one is Dennis Eckersley.
So I got Smith, Hoffman, Jansen, Kimbrel, and Eckersley.
And Troy Percival.
All
right.
So you're getting rid of Eckersley and who?
Well, this is tempting because, like, to me, I don't know why, but Hoffman and Percival have always just been like the same guy, right? Like they're both excellent closers, but I don't like. Did either of them ever win anything?
No.
Yeah.
No. Hoffman came close, but the Yankees kind of put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, they came 0-4 close, right? Wasn't it a sweep?
It was 0-4 sweep. Yeah.
Yeah. How many closing chances did he have in that series?
Not many.
He was 0 for 0, I believe.
Yeah.
And Percival, I don't think he ever won anything.
Percival didn't win either. Now.
Yeah. All right, so you know what? I'm gonna keep Eckersley. Whatever. He's a jerk and I'm a jerk, so I'll keep for that reason. Get rid of those two losers. You don't win nothing. You don't make the list. Hoffman, Percival. See you later. You're the same guy anyway. I think I should be allowed to take one more off, but since we need to keep 4, we'll get rid of those twins, and we'll keep Lee Smith, Jansen, Kimbrel. He's the guy that with the wings, right? It's not Kimbrel.
The guy with the wings is
Kimbrel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So whatever. At least he's kind of unique, and we'll keep Eckersley because he was good, and he was a good starting pitcher too. So I should like him because
I take that back. Troy Percival did win. He won the World Series in 2002 with the Angels.
Yeah, that which means nothing.
So you're doing the same thing. You're keeping Lee Smith, Kenley Jansen, Craig Kimbrel, and Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah.
All right, Harry.
Percival's gone.
Glad I made it easy for both of you.
I mean, Smith, Hoffman, Jansen, Kimbrel, and Eckersley, they're all really close. Smith and Hoffman have to be kept. I'm going to keep Jansen.
Hoffman was a great closer.
Yeah. And he had a high, save percentage. I don't know. I'm going to put Eckersley over Kimbrel, even though Kimbrel had more, I think, total saves in his career. I just, I don't know. I think Eckersley did it in a time, and he was more of he sort of changed the role of the closer in a lot of ways. I think he had more of an impact on the game than Kimbrel did. I don't know. Kimbrel was around a long time, but I don't know. I don't really know much.
Eckersley was the first
starter to become a closer,
who had as much success or more as a closer
than he did
as a starter.
Right.
I'm sure there were other starters who pitched as a closer, but he was really good at both.
Right.
Maybe better.
He was. I think he was overall a better pitcher. And
but he was the first guy that I remember you would ever say, "Oh, that guy used to be a pretty good starter, and now he's a great closer." So,
fair enough.
Plus, didn't Kimbrel win a championship with the Red Sox?
Kimbrel won, I believe.
I don't know. He just looks like he should be churning butter in a field. Fucking hated him. Fuck Kimbrel.
Kimbrel won with the Red Sox. Yeah, Kimbrel won in 2018 with the Red Sox. Yeah.
I remember he had that stupid fucking beard. No, fuck him.
All right. So you're going Hoffman, Smith, Jansen, Eckersley.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. Well, there you go. That is
that stupid arm hang down thing that Kimbrel did. Yeah, he bugged the shit out of me. He was very. By the way, he was very good.
Yeah.
And
by the way, it was very good.
He's probably a Hall of Famer. But.
He's not that bad now, and he's on the Phillies. So
yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
By the way, Trevor Hoffman went 41 saves without blowing one once.
There you go.
That's pretty amazing.
That's pretty amazing. That is. All right.
He never blew up the World Series either.
I mean, he never made it to the World Series, did he?
He did. Trevor Hoffman?
Yeah.
Oh, against the Yankees. That's right.
Against the Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah. And did they
perfect,
sweep him? I think they swept.
Yankees swept.
Yeah.
him,
An unblemished record in World Series play.
Because they didn't need him.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
It's not his fault. Not his fault. Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, that's true. And he was a systems closer anyway. So
Systems closers.
Yeah, there is that.
All closers are systems closers. Yeah.
There you go. And what was his walk on song? Do you remember?
Walk on by.
His walk on by was, "Do you know the way to San Jose?" That was his.
Yeah. I think it was wasn't it the Looney Tunes theme song?
That was the Benny Hill song.
That's what I would bet too. Is the Benny Hill song or the theme song from Facts of Life?
that would be good.
And I would skip up to the plate.
Or Who's the Boss? That'd be good too.
No, definitely not Who's the Boss.
No, his Hell's Bells was his.
All right.
So anyway, all right. That brings us to this week's MLB question of the week. Not that we haven't had two MLB questions, but this one is the one of the week. All right, here we go.
The Major League Baseball question of the week, brought to you by Fast Actin Tinactin. Fast Actin Tinactin. When you got an itch down in your socks, hey, Tinactin works on the balls too.
There you go. All right. All right. Now, if we can just get a check from Tinactin.
That's some good copy.
That's some great copy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. All right. This week's MLB question.
Fast Actin Tinactin. If you're scratching, it's Fast Actin Tinactin.
Tinactin.
By the way, it works on the balls too.
By the way, works on the balls. That's at the end of
that's what they
every
put on the
spot.
can.
If your balls are itching and you need to be pitching, Fast Actin Tinactin. Used by Trevor Hoffman for years.
For all of your
little yellow bird word bubbles that's all spiky on the edges. Works on the balls too.
Works on the balls too.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
I think that's
not
what
just for
Cole is currently using on.
He gets the ball, sprinkles a little Tinactin on it. It's rosin, I swear, it's rosin.
So Fast Actin Tinactin.
Well, ironically,
yeah.
Good. Go ahead.
No good. I was
gonna say, ironically, you went there. That's what this week's MLB question of the week is about.
Who had the biggest case of jock itch in the history of Major League Baseball?
Absolutely, that's what it is. Now,
definitely had to be Pete Rose, right?
Yesterday in the seventh inning, was it the seventh inning?
I just picture Pete Rose having a raging case of jock itch back in the 70s.
Yeah, but there was a reason for that.
Yeah, exactly. Pete Rose, maybe Bobby Grich. One of those guys who are always scratching their nuts. Bucky Dent probably had a pretty bad case of it for a while.
There was a lot of adjusting going on in Pete Rose's back.
Hold on. There we go. All right.
But Barry Bonds could not because he had no balls left.
They were gone, right? They were gone, right? So my question to you is: will the sticky substance rule change? Meaning, all right, I'll digress for a second. Last night, Drew Smith was thrown out of the Mets-Yankees game last week. Drew Smith was thrown out of the Mets-Yankees game, the first game, game one last week. And he didn't even throw a pitch. He walked out on the mound, and they immediately looked at his hands. They walked over, checked him, boom, tossed him out. Now he had a 10-game suspension. And it's not like a starter that gets a 10-game suspension because he's only missing. He might even be missing one start, maybe two, and maybe you adjust the right. Now Drew Smith's a bullpen guy, so he could miss like eight appearances in 10 games. So that's but again, all he did was put rosin on, and he wiped it with sweat, and it was like 80 degrees that night in the Queens, and he rubbed the back of his ear, which was checked, and there was nothing there. So he got sweat mixed with the rosin. Again, same thing with Max Scherzer a couple months ago, or several weeks ago. He got the sweat and the rosin, made it sticky, and the umpires threw him right out. But he didn't even throw a pitch. He didn't even throw one pitch, and they pulled him out of the game. So Now, Ron Darling on that broadcast last week said something that makes a lot of sense. He said, there's got to be some criteria, right? The umpire just can't come over and based on his own judgment say, oh, no, it's too sticky. You're definitely using something. You're out. There's got to be other criteria. Like if the spin rate gets elevated, if there's like, here's his normal pitch rate, spin rate, right? Extend it up a little bit and down a little bit. If it peaks well over that range, then you have cause to go check his hands more so than just at the end. And something along those lines. There's got to be some other criteria than just the opinion of the umpire. So my question to you, the question of the week, will the sticky substance rule change? Meaning, will they add some criteria next year or soon or whenever to make this a little bit more fair? Because it seems to be only happening to the Mets and the Yankees. Yeah. They're the only ones that are getting thrown out of the games.
Yeah. And what's funny with the Yankees is what's his name getting suspended after, like, he was most under the radar. So, like, right. He's even like out there going, I have no idea what I did wrong here. Like, yeah. Right. Something will be done. Will it help? I don't know. Here's my question. All right. I understand why they're doing this, I guess. They're not doing this because, like, since they've enacted this rule, it's not like batting averages and change the shift. Guys are still hitting 215 and 230 who 5 years ago hit, 285 and 290. Right. Averages are so fucking horrible right now. Like if you're a 286 hitter, you're amazing.
Right.
286 I get it.
286 is the new 336.
386. Yeah, it's the new Ted Williams barrier. Yeah. Should they change? Yeah, they definitely need to change it. Guys should not be, unless there's intent to, use a foreign substance that's not allowed, and you can prove it. Then no. Having said this, we got through the 70s and 80s with the Perry brothers, who brought an entire medicine cabinet out to the mound, throwing knuckleballs, and guys still occasionally hit them. So, just let the guys do what they want with the bat. Let them do what they want with the ball. Who gives a shit?
I know. The bottom line is, if I'm a major league batter and I'm standing at the plate with that bat, and there's a pitcher 66 feet away from me, and he's throwing a ball at basically my head at 90 something miles an hour, I would prefer it if he was able to control it a little better. Just saying. Mm-hmm. Call me silly, but that's my opinion. Pete, what do you think about that?
I think that I don't think they're going to change the rule because
I think how they enforce it will be changed.
Yeah, I think this is part of. I hope I'm right about this. I'm assuming I'm not, but I hope I'm right. I think there's going to be a reckoning coming for umpires, perhaps at the end of this season, who have been inserting themselves into games in a much more egregious way, or at least more noticeable way. And this is one of the ways they're doing it.
So it's a bigger issue than just this. Yeah.
I think it is, and
I agree with you.
Hopefully, Major League Baseball is going to take heed of that and figure out some way to deal with it. And I don't know what that is. There's lots of speculation, different ideas, but I don't think they're going to change the rule because it didn't really seem to be a problem before now, and you can't just get rid of rosin. Certainly not as you head into June and July and August, because the ball's going to be flying all over the place. Mm-hmm. You've got to have something. So I don't think they'll change it. Now, the other thing I want to say is Drew Smith missing 10 games might not be such a terrible
not so much. Yeah, not so much. No.
So maybe the umpire did a little bit of a favor.
The guys you want to be suspended never get suspended. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Gary Sanchez was never once suspended.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is part of a larger issue that baseball needs to deal, or symptomatic of a larger issue that baseball needs to deal with.
Right.
My point, I agree with what you're saying. I would phrase it in another way, is that we need to stop creating problems that don't exist and enforcement of things that don't need to be enforced.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. Cool. Very cool.
Let
Let him play. All right. It is time for the MLB Rapid Fire Quiz.
Didn't we just do something rapid fire and quick 35 minutes ago?
Yeah, we didn't do anything rapid fire or quick 35 minutes ago. So.
All right, rapid fire.
There was nothing rapid fire or quick about it. So.
Pete's going to win this week. I can feel it.
Yeah. Last week, there was 3 weeks, three fun shows in a row, so 6 weeks in a row, if you will. That Pete and Harry were tied.
And then that streak was broken by a serious drubbing of yours truly.
This is true. That wasn't too much of a drubbing. 4-2. I wouldn't call it a drubbing, but it was
doubled my score.
That's true. Well, 5-1 is more of a drubbing than 4-2. But
well, thanks.
Twice my score.
Thanks, doctorate of mathematics.
I was told there'd be no math on this show. All right, never mind. All right, cool. All right, so here we go. So, Pete, your question's up first. You ready?
Oh yeah, let's go. I'm going to write these down. Oh no, I don't have to write.
You don't have to write them down.
That was the
Who is the New York football team other than the New York Giants that plays in East Rutherford?
Okay, I got a question. I got a question for both of you. Don't talk for a second. Listen to this music. Do you hear it speeding up, cracking, going slow, or do you hear it perfectly normal?
Try to tune it out.
It's weird.
It just ended, so I don't know.
It stopped and came
so
back.
low
right?
in my headphones, I can't.
It's weird. All right, fair enough. I know something's weird with this broadcast tonight. So I apologize if any of you out there that are getting a little annoyed by music.
StreamYard's going to have a big update any day now and fix things.
I mean, most people tune in just for the rapid fire quiz background music.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
it sounds like some music that you would get like for some sort of oil change place.
Or peppermint mocha oil change.
Peppermint mocha oil change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Pete, question number 1. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
What team has won the second most World Series? Yankees have won the most. What team has won the second most World Series?
Is it St. Louis?
It is St. Louis. Very good.
Woo!
Very good. St. Louis Cardinals have 11. They have 11 wins. All right, so that one is yours. Question number 2. Here we go. Put that there just so you got it. All right, Pete, question 2. What MLB player was intentionally walked the most in Major League Baseball history? So.
That's as easy.
Over his career.
Over his entire career, what MLB player was intentionally walked the most?
I'll say Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth would be wrong. Babe Ruth would be wrong. Harry?
It's got to be Barry Bonds.
It is Barry Bonds.
Yeah. That was what I was going to say, but how many years of his career was he walking all the time? I feel like it was the last but I guess
I feel like he broke it in 3 in 3 seasons he broke the record,
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was only really a couple, like the last couple of years they were walking him every other time.
I don't think they really had intentional walks too much back in the day either. They were like,
that was the other thing I thought about
I'm not
too.
going to intentionally walk you.
Yeah. So he was walked 120 times intentionally over his career.
Now, who's number 2?
No, Barry Bonds was intentionally walked way more than 100.
He was intentionally walked 120 times. Not walked 120 times. Intentionally walked 120 times.
Barry Bonds has almost 700 intentional walks.
No, 700 walks.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. I got it right here.
We got to check some sourcing here.
Go check some sourcing here.
I mean, I remember that stat being like 650 or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let's see. Well,
I'm sorry. I
Wikipedia?
apologize. No. I apologize. I combined two together. It doesn't matter. The answer is still the same.
Yeah.
But I combined two together. The 120 was for one season.
One season.
Okay.
One season. 2004, Barry Bonds was intentionally walked 120 times. And that's he was obviously in the National League. In the American League, leader Eric Chavez only had 95 total walks as the American League walks leader.
Right.
And Barry Bonds had 120 intentional walks.
And I think he's doubled up. Like, I think either Hank Aaron or Albert Pujols is second, and they're like around 300, and Bonds is like, I don't know, 600 and something.
It's
Pujols is 316, Bonds is 688.
There you go. There you go.
Dan Musial and Henry Aaron are just under 300.
Yeah,
there you go. Okay.
Sure. All right. So let's move on to question number 3 for Pete. Here we go. Ready?
Sure.
All right. Pete, question 3. Who once threw a 76-pitch complete game? Who once threw a 76-pitch complete game? Is this music cracking up like this back and forth? Do you hear that?
I can't hear it.
Harry, do you hear it? Like stopping and cracking?
It's fine. It's fine. I can't hear it enough to comment on it.
70, how many? 76 pitches?
76-pitch complete game.
Well, I have no idea.
That's correct.
It is. I should get that one right.
That is 100% correct. You have no idea.
Geez. 76 pitch complete. Was it a 9-inning game?
Yeah. Complete game.
Walter Johnson.
Walter Johnson would be incorrect. Harry for the steal.
I know Greg Maddux had a 70 or 80 pitch, somewhere in that range. I'm going to go Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux would be correct. Greg Maddux is correct. He had a 76-pitch complete game. And of those 76 pitches, 89% of them were strikes.
Yeah.
So
he was pretty efficient.
He was. That he was. All right. Fair enough. All right. Now, Harry, we're moving on to your questions. This could be This could be that 5-1. Or Pete could steal a couple of these and come right back. So here we go. Let's,
yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Let's try. Here we go.
That's
Harry,
the best joke you've told tonight.
Here you go. Harry, your first question is this.
Right.
Edgar Martinez struck out 53% of his at-bats against which pitcher?
Edgar Martinez. Jesus. Why do I get these questions?
For everybody wondering why the music sucks, I'm ending the music tonight. There we go.
Oh, now it's suddenly loud.
It got loud. All right, we're done. No more music. There we go.
Well, here's the good news, Harry. There's no chance I'm stealing this one.
Well, I'm trying. It's. I'm guessing it's an American League pitcher. I'm going to say Pedro.
Pedro Martinez. Edgar Martinez struck out 53% of his at-bats against Pedro Martinez. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, that would be incorrect. Good guess, though, but incorrect. Pete, for the steal.
I'm going to say I'm wondering if this is a lot of that. It would have to be to get to 53%. It couldn't be like he was.
No, he didn't. This was a career. This was over a career.
Yeah. Right, but I mean, like, not.
He didn't
not
face
like
him.
20
He didn't
like
face him 3
25
times.
at-bats.
Right. Yeah. No.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It would have to be a big enough number that you could get to, 53%. How about Andy Pettitte?
Andy Pettitte, another good guess, but wrong. So the point does not get awarded to either of you. Anybody want to take another guess for the fudge of it?
Is it a
When did Edgar Martinez retire? He's more recently than
Edgar Martinez played. He played from 1987 to 2004.
Randy Johnson?
No.
No. Well, Johnson was he in he was in the American League for a lot of that.
Yeah,
he was on the same team.
Right.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe he went somewhere and faced like Randy Johnson, but you have to face him enough times to get to, to 53%.
I don't know. Give me a hint. What team the pitcher pitched for?
The pitcher pitched for.
Wait, is it Clemens?
It is not Clemens. I'll give you another hint. The bulk of his at bats against this pitcher were early in his career. First 7 years.
So late 80s, early 90s.
Late 80s.
Mid 80s to mid 90s, yeah.
Is he a big name pitcher?
Yes, he is.
Is he American League?
He's American League. Well, yep.
Was he on the Yankees?
He was not on the Yankees.
Was he on a West Coast team primarily?
West Coast, west of the Mississippi, at least. Yeah, except for early in his career. See, this is where the music comes in handy.
I don't know. Let's move on. I can't. I mean, it's.
Well, let's put it this way.
It wasn't Chuck
So
Finley, was it?
Well, the first couple years of his career, he pitched on the East Coast, and then the remainder of first few years of his career, pitched on the East Coast, and then the remainder of his long career, he pitched on the West Coast or at least west of the Mississippi.
Not David Cohn.
Nope. He was on the Yankees.
Never played for the Yankees. It wasn't Pedro. It wasn't Glavine or Randy Johnson. We said Clemens. I'm trying to think of other pitchers. God.
For 7 years of his 17-year career, Edgar Martinez faced this pitcher quite often.
I don't know. Just tell us.
Well, the first few years of his career, he pitched for the Mets. Then he went to the Angels, and then the Astros, and then the Rangers.
Kevin Appier?
No.
I don't know.
He pitched for the Mets in 66 and then 68 to 71. He pitched for the Angels from 72 to 79, the Astros from 80 to 88, and the Rangers from 89.
Nolan Ryan?
Nolan Ryan, correct.
Jesus Christ. I thought he was done by then.
No, 7 years he faced Edgar Martinez. But what's funny is Edgar Martinez struck out 53% of his at-bats against Nolan Ryan, but he only struck out 17% of his at-bats against all other pitchers he faced.
Yeah. How many at-bats? Enough. Yeah, all right.
Enough.
I just placed Nolan Ryan being gone by then.
No,
Yeah,
7 years in the league. 7 or 8 years.
Nolan Ryan pitched into the 90s?
93.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So nobody gets that one. Harry, your question number 2.
Yeah.
There we go. Whose consistent games of not striking out record reached 39 in 1995?
39 games batting without striking out?
39 games of batting without striking out.
And that's the all-time record?
Yeah. 39 games, 39 straight games without striking out. And it was in 1995. I'm giving you the year.
It's got to be Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn would be correct. Yes. There you go. And let's put this here and put, hold on. And put this one here. Yep. Okay. And Harry, question number 3 for you. Here we go.
All right.
This will determine whether you beat him 4-1 or 3-1. Here we go. Or 3-2. Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, question number 3. Who hit 4 home runs in a single game with only making 4 plate appearances? Only time it's ever been done. Only time. People have hit 4 home runs in a game, but there's only one person that hit 4 home runs in a game with only 4 plate appearances. Who did it?
I think I know this. It's Lou Gehrig, isn't it? Wasn't it 4 consecutive home runs? Well, obviously.
Of course it would be. Of course it would be consecutive, but it's not. No, it's not. Yeah. Okay. Pete for the steal.
4 home runs and only 4 at bats.
4 home runs and only 4 at bats in one game. He came to the plate 4 times in one game, homered each time. Only one person has ever done it.
I don't know. I mean, I could throw out who knows. Also, you know what? The only guy that I can say for sure that I know hit 4 home runs in a game, because I remember it, I'll say Mark Whitten.
Mark Whitten. Wow. Good guess. That would be incorrect though.
Yeah.
That would be incorrect. All right. The point is not awarded. Any other guesses?
Is it? Wasn't.
Tell you what, I'm gonna give Pete one. I'm gonna give Pete one hint.
What year was it?
It was 2003. So I'm gonna give Pete one hint.
Did he play for the Toronto Blue Jays?
He did.
I know the answer.
Okay. Pete, I'm gonna give you.
Did he play for the Mets also?
He did. That was going to be your hint. He also played for the Mets.
Okay, yeah. So I think I know who it is too.
You want to say it at the same time?
he's a video baseball nemesis of mine.
Oh, really?
Carlos Delgado.
Delgado, yeah. He did it in 2003 when he played for the Blue Jays versus the Rays. But yeah, he's the only one that came to the plate 4 times and hit his four. He's the only one that hit 4 home runs in 4 plate appearances in one game.
4 plate appearances.
So there you go. All right, there you go. So, all right, Harry, you got more of Pete's right than your own, but you do come away victorious 3-1 today.
Everybody gets more than Pete's questions because Pete's questions don't involve Carlos Delgado.
That's all. That's all good. That's all good.
Well,
all right.
Probably just from now on, any question that has the word strikeout in it, the answer should be Nolan Ryan.
Well, you know what? Honestly, in the last 6 weeks, I've probably asked 4 strikeout questions. The answer's always been Nolan Ryan.
Yeah. I just, for some reason, I put Edgar Martinez, the bulk of his career, not crossing over with Ryan's.
Yeah, almost. Not
the
not
timeline
quite.
in my head was wrong.
A little less than half of his career, he crossed over with Nolan Ryan. So yeah. Weird fact.
I think of Edgar Martinez more in the 90s than I do in the 80s. Yeah, like mid to late 90s.
Sure.
With those Seattle teams, you know.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, I mean, some of those earlier Seattle teams, you know, Dave Magadan was on those early Seattle teams, and you know, then he became a Met, or was a Met, and then became a Seattleian. So.
Was that at the same time Steve Largent was on the
Steve Largent was actually center field with Griffey,
right.
and
he probably would have been a good center field.
Right. There you go. All right. Weird fact of the day before we get to the top 5. Weird fact of the day. More men have walked on the moon than earned runs given up in a postseason by Mariano Rivera. In the postseason by Mariano Rivera. Just wanted to bring that up. So, 12 men have walked on the moon.
Perfect.
12 men have walked on the moon. Mariano Rivera only gave up 11 earned runs in postseasons. There you go. So there you go.
Yeah, but 0 of those guys that walked on the moon lost the World Series too.
True.
And 0 have won the World Series.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. That brings us to this week's top 5 list. And as we mentioned last week on last week's show, this week's top 5 is going to be top 5 men's tennis players of all time. Top 5 men's.
And for the first time ever, we all agreed not only with the top 5, but the order.
The order. We all agreed with the order.
Which probably tells you that we know nothing of what we're talking about.
That's a possibility.
Honestly, I would say by the slimmest of margins, tennis might be a sport where I might have a teeny tiny little bit more knowledge than you guys.
It's possible.
Excellent.
It's quite possible.
Not by much, but maybe
just because you live closer to the U.S. Open, or what?
And the three of us are talking.
I mean, I played in high school and stuff like that, so
nice.
It used to be, you know, I used to follow it, you know, at least as much as probably like basketball.
Well, you know, it's funny. I did a little research because we were talking about this. The 3 of us talking about tennis. The 3 of us talking about sports in general dates back this much too. But the 3 of us talking about tennis on a sports talk show dates back 23 years. So.
Oh, no.
There you go. So.
I was there too.
And we were wrong then. Just like
and we were wrong then.
Now.
And we were talking about, and we were definitely talking about.
23 years ago, I talked with you guys on a sports talk show.
Yes, you did. Yeah, spaghetti and the meatball.
I don't remember.
You did. There you go.
How drunk was I?
You may have been a little drunk. Yeah, so. Anyway. All right.
Still, it was the best segment of the show.
And it was by far the best segment.
We were way better back then.
Yeah, I think
so.
Oh,
my God. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Number 5. The order's the same for all of us. So do we want to do these like we used to, talk about each, or just go through the 5 and then we'll just talk about them randomly?
Nah,
just go through the 5.
List them all. Okay. Number 5 is the one we were actually talking about on that show is Mr. Pete Sampras. Pete Sampras. Number 4 would be Rod Laver, the senior of the bunch, if you will.
Yeah.
Number 3 would be Rafael Nadal. Number 2 would be Roger Federer. And the number 1 men's tennis player of all time, no shock here, would be Mr. Novak Djokovic. So there you go. Pete Sampras, Rod Laver, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic. So, I mean, with what Djokovic just, did and what everything, I mean, it's a no-brainer that he's number 1. But these other, it was a little bit interesting. I think we're going to have an old balls tonight. So I thought about it after we discussed who was the old balls. I'd actually put who our old balls is as an honorable mention or number 6 if we did so.
He's a close number 5 or number 6. I think he falls into a category with a lot of people where he could have probably played a lot longer and could have probably
climbed up the list
way greater numbers.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that. Here's one thing I will say about Rod Laver. Obviously, he played at a time when, the Open was only for amateurs. His dominance in the time that he was a pro is maybe the most spectacular of anybody on this list.
Sure.
And he's the hardest to kind of compare just because it was so long ago and the game and you could argue that much like what's her name on the women's side who holds the records for most titles, the competition, it wasn't that it was bad, but it probably was not as deep. And I would say the same. I would say that that's what's most impressive about our top 3 on this list, and which is why I rank them as high as I do, is that the competition, I mean, is just intense. I mean, those guys all played against each other for many, many, many years.
Sure.
And I think that makes it a little harder. Tennis is always great when there are those sort of, classic competitive, what's the word I'm looking for? Duos that go up against each other. And in this particular case, it's more like Djokovic and Nadal and Federer. Obviously, you had Connors and Borg. You had McEnroe and Borg, McEnroe and Connors. Sampras had some people in there, which Chang and some others, but he was a little bit of kind of the bridge between some of the old school guys and some of this more current players. Laver, it's hard to say. Margaret Court is who I was thinking of. I think those two definitely belong on this list because they were so dominant. But I think this list, I think most tennis people would agree with this list. They might flip the order a little bit, but I think it's not as definitive as other sports. But I think these are the top 5. And, the next 5 on that list are all great names as well. When you talk about the Jimmy Connors and the John McEnroes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah.
Sure.
Vitas Gerulaitis, which I just like saying that name.
Vitas Gerulaitis, of course.
Yeah.
Yvonne Lendl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there's been some great tennis players over the years, that's for sure.
Yeah. And listen,
Johnny Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Jim Courier?
Courier, sure.
Courier was ranked number 1 for like a year and a half straight, and you had a
Brooks,
couple of the guys you had a couple of the like the Swedes, Stefan Edberg, who had some success. Mats Wilander had a little bit of a longer
Wilander was great. Yep.
Andy Roddick, who didn't win maybe as much as he should, but
he kind of started out hot and dwindled a little bit, but had some injuries there.
And of course Agassi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who I would be tempted to put maybe number 6.
Yeah.
But I have kind of love of Agassi a little bit.
Yeah. I think he won as many titles with his mullet and without it.
Yeah, it's his story that I really like.
He was a good doubles player too.
how he came in and, had to change the way he did things and had that, gorgeous mane all kind of fell out and he, found happiness with what are their kids? What is his and Graf's kids doing now? Like they must be.
They better be playing tennis.
Junior circuit somewhere, right? So,
they probably.
But just a good because like he was a really good guy, but the way he started out in Bolletary and that whole madness of the Florida tennis scene and all that. But he had to change the way he did things, and he did, and became successful and one of the great serve returners who ever played the game, I think. So I guess he's a favorite of mine, one of my favorites. But Laver, like, how do you?
It's harder to.
There are criteria that you can say about him. 200 singles titles. Okay, he's the best ever. The only guy to win 2 calendar Grand Slams.
He did it twice. He did it twice.
The only guy to do it twice, and you could say, okay, well, that's enough to make him number 1. But I don't know. I don't think he had the same. I mean, there's 3 other guys who've been playing each other, right, for the past 15 or 20 years, and they're in that top 5. And I just don't think Laver had that same competition level.
Yeah. I mean, you also had Roy Emerson, the Australian who had 12 Grand Slam singles titles and 16 Grand Slam double titles. So Bjorn Borg, who I guess we'll talk about here. I mean, he had 11 in a very short period of time. I mean, he did that from 1974 to 81 and only part of 81. So, I mean, his dominance for that period of time. And then, you look at Connors and Lendl and Agassi, with the numbers that they have, it's amazing. I think the other thing, much like we talk about this, is that, like, how many times did you make it to the finals? And that's where, it's just, Djokovic has 23 wins in 34 finals appearances.
Sorry about that. Everything got screwed up there. So I'm back.
Lendl made it 19 times. Sure, he won it 8, but he made it. So, it's. I think we've named most of. Andy Murray, was another guy who was good for a period of time, and but obviously, Agassi, Lendl, Connors, Borg and Laver. I think though that when it's all said and done here, for a long time, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer, they've just separated themselves.
Yeah,
and
it'd be difficult. It's going to be difficult for anybody to, it's and not to say it's not going to be done because they did it right. So 2 or 3 or 1 even person could come along and supplant them, so to speak. But it's going to be difficult. So
and it happens. It seems like every generation has at least one of those players, and sometimes those players benefit. And I'm not taking anything away from Sampras, but I do think that the competition, Sampras dominated for a period of time, and it didn't really matter who he was playing. He just kind of had this gut feeling. He was good for a very long period of time. Whereas I think some of these other guys had some, of the 10 or 12 that we put on this list, most of these guys were battling one of those people their entire career.
Right.
Or two of them, It's like, the Borg, McEnroe, Connors, that I think is as close as we had to the Djokovic, Nadal, Federer trio.
But I don't think that was for really that close to as long a period of time.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We think about these guys but they really weren't playing each other forever.
They played a lot in a short period of time.
Right. Yeah, they had some. And
whereas Nadal and Federer and Djokovic, it seems like it's been like over a decade where they've just
I think it has, because they're all 30-something, and they all started playing each other when they were about 20. I mean, Federer's a little bit older, obviously. But
Federer's a little older.
Here's the thing about Djokovic. This is something I heard the other day that really kind of, because I was still thinking about Federer as maybe still the number one.
Mhm.
But the thing that I heard was if you take away each of the big threes,
Mhm.
the slam they won the most,
Mhm.
right? Djokovic, I think the Australian, I think he's got 10 Australian wins, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, Nadal, if you take away those 10, he's got 13. Nadal's got 22, right? Total.
Yeah, 22. Yeah.
But like 14 of them are the French or something. If you take away the 14, then he's got 8 or, whatever it is. And Federer, I don't remember what it was. So, but Djokovic, you take away that top, the tournament they've won the most, Djokovic just has more.
Yeah.
And he's won 3. He's won more in each of them.
Yeah, nobody else has won. I think
he's played the best in the most diverse court conditions.
Yeah, nobody else has got at least 3 of each of the the big slams. So that's kind of like, yeah, he kind of has to be the best.
Right.
It's a shame that whatever last week or 10 days ago or whatever it was, Alcaraz, he was playing Alcaraz in the semis at the French, and Alcaraz got cramps, and the match was nothing, because and there have been any number of players who've come up and really played some good tennis, but Alcaraz looks like the real deal, but obviously he's got some conditioning issues. So we kind of, I don't think you could say it cheapened the French win for Djokovic, but it was a shame. Like, that was the match of the tournament, far better than the final. No, disrespect to, I don't even remember whoever it was, Rude or Rudd or whatever was in the final, but that's the people. Alcaraz is the next kid that go, well, he might one day challenge for the title. So we didn't get to see that, but I think 23 it's outrageous.
Yeah.
Well, look at all of his other wins, and look how consistent he's been. I mean, all of these guys, their consistency over a long period of time has just been incredible.
Agreed. All right.
All
right. That brings us to this week's Old Balls. Harry, tell us this week's.
Haven't had an Old Balls in a long time.
Haven't had Old Balls in a while.
We got some Swedish Old Balls today. Our Old Balls.
Old Swedish Balls.
Our Old Balls is none other than Bjorn Borg. That's a lot of B's.
Old Balls, Old Bjorn Borg Balls.
I mean, Bjorn Borg was my favorite tennis player when I was very young. And look, he was former number one tennis player. Between 74 and 81, he became the first man in the Open era to win 11 Grand Slam singles titles, with 6 at the French Open and 5 consecutive Wimbledon championships. Mm-hmm. He's a relatively young guy. He won 4 consecutive French Open titles and is 6-0 in French Open finals. He was the first man since 1886 to contest 6 consecutive Wimbledon finals, which Federer has done now, broke in 2009. And he's the only man to achieve the Channel Slam 3 times, and he contested the French Open, the Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open finals in the same year 3 times.
Nice.
So he also won 3 major titles without dropping a set during those tournaments. One negative about him is he's never won the U.S. Open, but I think the pressure got to him, and I think he got a little bored with the game.
Bored Bjorn Borg?
Yeah, but I still say top 5 sporting events that I've ever watched was his Wimbledon final with McEnroe. It was absolutely one of the most incredible sporting events I've ever witnessed in my life. And he retired young. I can't remember how old he was. I think he was still in his 20s when he retired.
He was 26, I think, when he retired.
He just sort of said, fuck it. And he tried to come back. It didn't really work. I think it was a little too late by the time that he tried his retirement. But he really did all of this between
74 and
74 and 81, because he only played 1 tournament in 82, and then he called it quits. But he was also sort of this striking, long-haired Swede, who was the opposite of McEnroe. McEnroe was this fiery, rambunctious
He had a fro.
American.
He had that big fro.
He was, and Borg was this just cool, icy, almost, just totally emotionless type of player. And I think that sort of contrast made for great television and a great rivalry. Anyway, there's a great, it's probably 4 or 5 years old now, but there's a great documentary on Borg and McEnroe. And I think there's a film actually made about the two of them. So it's been documented. I think there's some great, either half fictional or documentary footage of what went on there. And I think there maybe was a 30 for 30. I can't remember, but I just remember it being that time with Jimmy Connors and McEnroe and Borg. It was one of the early golden eras of tennis, and I think he and McEnroe helped. They were kind of the equivalent of, I think, like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird for tennis. I just think the sport sort of took off at that time.
Yeah, agreed. All right, that was this week's Old Balls. All right. Pete, do we have an over-under?
No.
No over-under.
No,
Have a good week, folks. Check us out on Stitcher and
everywhere else.
MySpace and Channel 73 on your local Xfinity.com.
And old fans. Old fans.
Only old fans.
Only old fans.
Moldyfans.com.
Moldy old fans. Only moldy fans.
Grannypants.com.
There you go. Yeah. I saw a video, and this is a dad joke. You're gonna cut it out, but I saw it. It was the other day. It was pretty. It's actually cute. One guy's looking at another guy and says that he found out that his daughter has an OnlyFans website, and the guy says an OnlyFans website, and the guy says, yeah, she's selling OnlyFans on her website. It's weird. I don't understand. Why is she just selling fans? She's only selling fans, OnlyFans. And the other guy looks at him and says, with a grin on his face, he goes, "You must be living under a rock." And he says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "She can't do that. That's not a sustainable business. She's got to sell heaters and air conditioners too. She can't survive. She's got to think about seasonality." So I thought it was funny.
Well, he could say she's maybe selling some heaters, I guess.
He could, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
In any event,
depends on how big her propane tanks are.
It's true. All right. On that note. All right. So I think we're good.
On that note, you can find Pete every Tuesday and Thursday live on his OnlyFans account.
Yeah, if you need heaters, I got them.
He's got a couple of heaters.
Is it Slip and Slide Wednesdays now?
Actually, we've changed it up. It's Whipped Cream Wednesdays.
Whipped Cream Wednesdays.
Nice.
Yeah, Slip and Slide Saturdays.
Slip and Slide Saturdays. I like alliteration.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we were trying to, make the names easier, make the specialties easier to remember.
Now, have you ever had a Whipped Cream Slip and Slide?
Well, that would have to take place from Wednesday all the way through to Saturday.
That would be called the Sunday.
Sunday. There you go.
Put a cherry on top.
I like that.
Put a cherry in your mouth and slide down the whipped cream slip and slide.
There you go.
No, actually, I'll slide down with a whole can of cherries, devouring them as I go.
Please don't do that again.
Or I could slide down. I could slide down with some cherries cans and
Right.
Devour those as I go.
And there were those as you go. There
Hopefully,
you go.
She's My Cherry Pie plays in the background.
Exactly. Warrants in the background, and you're good to go.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Exactly.
Warrants is definitely the theme.
There should be a warrant involved.
I think after this podcast, I think there might be. So we'll have to worry about that. All right. On that note, folks, we will wrap up the show for today. And I guess you guys can't be much happier than that.
Go on a high note.
We want to thank everybody for watching. If those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And, of course, all of the shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us, or more likely putting up with us. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Top 5 OnlyFans stars.
Pete's all 5.
I've never been on OnlyFans.
Max Wielander's got 7 Grand Slam titles.
Is he on OnlyFans?
Max Wielander's going to be on OnlyFans.
Stefan Edberg has 6.
Stefan Edberg. Wasn't he also a hockey player?
I believe he was.
I think so.
I think there was a Stefan Edberg.
Oh, and you know who we forgot is Boris Becker.
Boris Becker, yes,
Boris
he did.
Becker.
6 too, yeah.
He had a TV show where he dressed like Ted Danson, didn't he?
I think so.
I think that actually was
Ted
Danson.
He won Wimbledon at like 17 years old, I think.
He was 7, yeah. He was 7 when he won Wimbledon.
17.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
All right. All right, folks. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you next week, folks.
I just have one more word.
One more word.
Yvonne Goolagong.
Yvonne Goolagong.
Never best name in tennis.
Absolutely. Better than whatchamacallit?
Definitely better than whatchamacallit.
Better than whatchamacallit, yeah. Why'd I lose his name?
I don't know. You can't beat Yvonne Goolagong.
Yvonne Goolagong.
Yeah. It sounds like a great dish to order. I don't know.
I've ordered it before. It's very good. It's very tasty.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, folks. Cheers.